We are proud to be able to kind of do this and come here every year. I just told somebody they keep making the same mistake and giving me the microphone to MC. But as far as CUA is concerned, this is really a privilege and a pleasure for us. Credit Union of America, we pride ourselves of being supportive of the communities in which we serve. Being the sponsor of this State of the Community event for the past few years speaks to our commitment to that notion and to the Andover community. We come from a very humble beginning at East High School in Wichita, just about 90 years ago. In fact, in a couple of months, March the 6th to be exact, Credit Union of America will be 90 years old. And so from humble beginnings at East High School, from a teacher corralling some of his colleagues together to create what was at that point referred to as the Wichita City Teachers Credit Union, we became Credit Union of America, and I'm proud to share with you that today, Credit Union of America is the second largest credit union in the state of Kansas, with $1.5 billion in an asset size. And so we're very proud of that. Since putting a branch at 96th and 21st that serves the Andover district, we have built solid relationships with the chamber here and with the school district and many more. We look forward to building even more relationships over time. If there is anything that we can do for you, I encourage you, visit our branch or even speak to our branch manager that's here, Hannah Keller, wave your hand. And if I could just get all of our CUA delegates just to wave real quick. We came in a good number here. But I encourage you to visit with us, visit our branch, talk to Hannah, talk to me, and we'd be happy to help you in whatever way we can. So with that, let's kind of jump into our program here today. Each of the speakers that you see here will have 3 to 5 minutes to kind of do an initial talk. And with that initial talk, we're going to ask that you kind of hold your questions until the panel discussion portion. There are pens and notepads on your table. If you would like to write those questions down, during this time, we'd like each of the panelists, during the time that you speak, we have a question that we want each of you to answer. So as you're giving your talk, make sure you include an answer for this question. What is one point of celebration you've experienced from 2024? And what are you most looking forward to in 2025? So again, you'll have 3 to 5 minutes, and in your talk, if you'll include an answer to this question. What is one point of celebration you've experienced in 2024? And what are you most looking forward to in 2025? So with that, let's get our speakers, the microphone here. We're going to start with our mayor, Mayor Ronnie Price. He just started his second term as mayor, having been re-elected in November of 2023. Mayor Price is looking forward to leading the city for the next 4 years. So at this time, please help me to welcome Mayor Ronnie Price.
Good afternoon. All right, looking back on 2024, Family Future Forward, the 13th Street Sports Park was open for a large part of the summer. Fire Station 2 was built and we held a grand opening in the spring. Fire Station number 1 was remodeled and is much nicer than it was when it was originally built, but it was built with an intent for full occupation, where prior to that it was not. Heritage continues to gain momentum. Heritage Plaza Park, we're planning a grand opening on it this spring. And the Harry Street Nature Park was opened in February. It's a 1.5-mile trail, which is very cool. It's there's no amenities out there, so take your water and be prepared. And we welcomed in 3 new council members, which I could be more blessed to be working with them. It's a nice group. We've done real well together. And then looking forward to, there's going to be a lot going on and real fast in 2025. Number 1 is phase 1 of Kellogg goes out to bid in 26. Yorktown goes out to bid in February, which will be completed by the end of 2025, which is this road that ties right onto the college and goes to City Hall. So that's a big deal, and it's going to move quickly. Founders Parkway funds will be released in July of 25, and we'll go out to bid February of 26, and will be completed in the fall of 26. And what that is the road from, let's say, Taco Tico, between Taco Tico and the Enterprise, going into the Heritage Square. I also have Phase 3 of Founders Parkway from the Buffalo Apartments to Andover Road and Kellogg, and that will be done at late fall, probably at best. And this is great news for a lot of folks. KTA is sending out to bid this fall for the replacement of the Turnpike Bridge out at Prairie Creek Road, which means, and then they'll have it done by spring, which means it'll be 2 semi-trucks wide, an 8 to 10 pedestrian path wide. And what's all that mean is, if you live in, let's just say you live in Crescent Lakes, you'll be able to get off the Turnpike, go all the way through Andover to your home without getting on Andover Road. So it's just a means to take congestion off Andover Road and just make it a safer in and out. Again, I want to say Heritage Squares continues to gain momentum. They got Livingston's Cafe is now open. Late this summer, Social Tap will be open. They also have Andover Family Optometry, Glen Hills Dental, and Heritage West Senior Living. So there's a lot to look forward to. And the grand opening of the lodge, this is things to look forward to as well. The grand opening of the lodge at Central Park will be this summer, and we already did the groundbreaking, and will be more that type of thing going on as it proceeds along. And Heritage, again, the Heritage Park Plaza grand opening is this spring. This is important, but you just don't realize it. The construction of the new wastewater treatment plant is coming on, so we'll be working on that, and it's a necessity that everybody has to have, right? And we're opening a new park south of the new fire station, so it will be the second park, because we have the nature trail south of Kellogg, and this will be a park south of Kellogg. So we're just trying to tie the whole city together slowly but surely, but with intent. All right, and I think that's about all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate that. Now let's move on to our superintendent of schools. And I have a lot of respect for this gentleman, and I'm happy that we have a chance to partner with him in his work with the school district. And Brett White has been the superintendent of schools since 2017, but he has been with the Andover schools since 2001. And so Brett will speak to us now, and remember, just share with us a point of celebration in 2024 and what you're looking forward to in 2025 as you speak. Thank you.
Thanks, Bradley. Yeah, it's really honored to be in the presence of all of you, and we're really proud of our relationships with the city of Andover, the chamber, our business partners, Butler Community College, and Butler County. Just very quickly, we don't interact often, but in our time of need, back during COVID, Butler County really stepped up and helped us tremendously just to get the supplies and what we needed to stay open during the most difficult times. So we'll always appreciate Will for that. And we've got a long-standing relationship with Butler Community College. So many of our high school students leave with a great jump start, or in some cases their associate's degree, and Butler's the reason for that. And actually, Jill Lockemeyer, our assistant superintendent for academics, and I had the opportunity to have lunch with Dr. Kroll before she retired, and to thank her for her leadership. We look forward to working with Dr. Vietti, the entire Butler team, and they've just been a great partner for us for many decades. The city of Andover if you know Ronnie, like, he is a champion. This man loves Andover, and it really shows just in the growth and development of the city. So could not have a better champion and kind of face for our community than Ronnie. And really, Jenny McCausland, the city staff, city council, Chief Buchanan's here. We're really fortunate. I didn't see Chief Russell, but Andover, I think, has the best fire department and police department in the state. We are so fortunate to have the staff that we have, and really, the partnership with the city is tremendous. So Bradley, appreciate all the Credit Union of America staff. We have staff breakfast every couple, 3 weeks. We hit every building over the course of the year. Bradley's there, several from Credit Union of America, and it's just great to connect and for them to be such an important part of our district and staff members' lives there. So. Community partners, again, one of our highlights every year is the back to school breakfast that the chamber, and Laura, your leadership is so vital, but the back to school breakfast that we have for all of our new educators for Butler and for the district is just a great opportunity for them to really see what Andover is all about. So appreciate your leadership with that, Lori, and all of you for helping to sponsor. Board of Education, January's Board of Education month, so I want to make sure I get a plug in, but our 7 volunteers on our Board of Education are tremendous advocates, and none of them were able to make it today, but they are just phenomenal to work with, really keep the best interest of students at the heart of all the decisions that they make. So as I was kind of preparing for this, I really contemplated the question, what is the state of the Andover community? And I would say extremely strong and getting stronger and better every year. So I think it's easy for me, I've been in the community for a number of years, to take for granted what we have here and to think every place is like Andover, but I promise you what we have is really unique and special, and most communities would never have the support from the community, from all the organizations, and so what we have here is really unique and special there. So we've got about 5,650 students, 6 elementaries, 2 middle schools, 2 high schools. Our Andover CAPS, which is the Center for Advanced Professional Studies, juniors and seniors, are able to take courses at CAPS. We have one of the best virtual and largest virtual schools, Andover Academy in the state. 400 teachers, about 675 staff members. If you include our substitute teachers, about 800. If any of you are thinking like, hey, I may want to sub, let us know, and we'll put you to work. So substitute teachers are never in higher demand than now there. So as far as celebrations, I really kind of go back to the community conversation that some of you were involved in back in 2017-18. We talked to all of our staffs and site councils, student councils, community groups, and really the task was to identify the skills and qualities and attributes. What do we want in our Andover Public School graduates? So that was really a year-long conversation. Jill Lockemeyer, our Assistant Superintendent for Academics, Terry Rombeck, who is here somewhere, our Director of Communication, were really involved and helped to lead that conversation and initiative, but it was really identifying what do we want as a community in Andover school graduates. And one of the things, academic preparation, that's really important. It's not the only thing, but it is really important that our students are academically prepared. Collaboration and communication skills, we see that all the time. People that aren't successful in the workforce, it's often not because they don't have the knowledge. It's because they don't have the people skills and ability to communicate and relate. So the communication and collaboration skills, so important. Innovative thinking, we live in a world that's constantly changing, so preparing students to think outside the box. Integrity and character, hard to measure. I remember our former superintendent Andover said, not everything of value can be measured. We've tried to really recognize some of those students and staff members, volunteers who are just great people and really living that character and integrity. We have a Character Champion Award. We've done that for a few years, and there's been 6 or 7 character champions, but to really recognize those people who exemplify those qualities. Resilience, again, never more than now have we needed that. So everything that we do really goes back to our portrait of a graduate. Just some quick statistics. Graduation rate last year, 94.1% of our seniors in the district graduated. At Andover High, it was 97.1, 95.9 at Central High. Our E-Academy was about 80%, which is actually, it's a different demographic often in virtual education, so that's improved steadily over the years, but we're proud of that. Currently, the 468 seniors at Andover High and Central, the combined grade point average of all those seniors, 3.46. That's a really solid GPA. We have 2 national merit semifinalists, 1 from each high school this year. 95% attendance rate. Attendance really since COVID has become really difficult. So proud of that 95% attendance rate. We've still got about 1 in 10 students who are missing more than 10% of the school day, so missing too much school. So we're working on that, but we know they've got to be there in order to be successful. Niche.com, there's some different ratings. U.S. News and World Report does one, but the Niche.com, the last 2 years, 24 and 25, our high schools have been ranked 1 and 2 in the Wichita metro area. 24 and 25, both middle schools ranked 1 and 2 each of those years. Elementary is also highly ranked. Wheatland's been number 1 in the metro area the last couple of years. Martin and Prairie Creek also in the top 4 each of those years. Andover ranked 4 out of 279 districts. Those are nice, but really we know the difference is really our people, as we all know in our organizations. So we've got families that value and support education. We have a community filled with people like you who value and support and are there for our teachers and students, tremendous educators, administrators, staff members. Just last week, we had 1 of 32 Horizon Award winners. It's given to 32 second-year teachers in the state. Lexi Bollinger, who's a 4th grade teacher at Robert Martin, received the Horizon Award. And also, it was kind of odd that they announced 3 years worth of the Presidential Excellence Awards in Math and Science. So there's 330 educators nationwide that received that. And we had 2 of those. Todd Flory, who's a teacher at Wheatland Elementary, Robin Anderson, a math teacher at AMS. So to have 2 of 333 nationwide is really just a testament to the quality of our educators. So there are great representatives of the hundreds of staff members that we have who just really go above and beyond every day for students and who are committed to excellence. So thanks.
Thank you, Superintendent White. Really nice hearing some of those stats, the graduation rate, the average GPA, and it's not just student achievement, but quality of educators, the Horizon Awards, some fantastic things happening with your district, sir, so thank you. Let me take a quick pause to mention to you that I came bearing a gift. Everybody will have a little notebook on your tables, and this is courtesy of Credit Union of America. And there is a little bookmark in there too, and I just want to take 5 seconds and show off a little bit. It says the #1 auto lenders in Kansas. Credit Union of America, we do it right when it comes to auto loans. So come check us out, and that's for you. Thank you. All right, moving along. Our next speaker is Dr. Jackie Vietti. Dr. Vietti is the interim president at Butler Community College. Dr. Vietti's work experience encompasses 45 years in various capacities within higher education. She retired from Butler Community College in 2012 following a 17-year tenure as its president, and has recently stepped into the role as the interim president following Dr. Crow's retirement. So thank you for stepping into that role, and at this time,
Thank you, and Brett, I'm sorry that I failed retirement, but it doesn't count against your school district. So Thomas Wolfe, author, says you can't go home again. I disagree if home is where your heart is. And certainly, my heart is with Butler. And I am privileged to be among 3 of Butler's steadfast best partners, 2 on my right, 2 on my left, and 1 on my right. So thank you. Thank you for helping shape Butler into the institution it is. In terms of, well, I've been on the job 12 days, only 10 if you count snow days. So if I misspeak, we have wonderfully, incredibly talented, skilled Butler people in the audience, and they have my permission to correct me publicly if I get the facts wrong. But in terms of success for 2024, it can be summed up in 2 words: student success. And here's the evidence. A 4.74% increase in enrollment for the fall semester, a nearly 70% retention rate, and the national average is 61%. So we are incredibly proud of that. In terms of focusing on student success, one of the ways we best do that is through affordability. So we have offered annually over $3 million in scholarships that are academic and/or activity-based. Several years ago, we moved to OER, and the non-educanese people will not know what that means, but it's open educational resource. In other words, instructional materials that can be used in lieu of textbooks. And since 2018, we have saved our students $2.8 million in textbook cost. One of the other points of celebration relative to student success that Brett referred to was our early college academies. We have celebrated 10 years now with 725 graduates, high school graduates of that initiative in one of 10 pathways. So what a great jump start on their college careers or their work careers. So those are points of celebration. If you had 3 more hours, trust me, I have many more points. But Lori has held us to a very tight time frame. So what's on the horizon for us in 2025? Expanded opportunities for our students. It all comes down to our students and the people in our communities. We're expanding our welding program. We have a great partnership with AGS, Associated General Contractors, for our construction technology program. We continue to focus on high demand, high wage programs like nursing and cybersecurity, and a variety of other programs that truly are tied, again, to high demand, high wage jobs. We're focused on advancing our strategic plan. It has 6 pillars. Guess what the first one is? Student success, followed by community and business and industry partnerships, employee success, because our most valuable resource in any organization is our people, right? Institutional sustainability, innovation, a hallmark of Butler, and opportunities for all. We're open access organization, higher ed entity, and so come one, come all. We will take you where you are and take you well, well beyond that. The last one that y'all ought to have a vested interest in, because I sure do. My gig is 6 months. So the last thing I wanted to mention in terms of the focus for 2025 is finding the absolute best possible successor for Dr. Kroll. If my math is right, I think that's president number 7 since Butler became Butler Community College from the days way back of El Dorado Junior College. So again, we will continue to focus on working with all of you. At the end of the day, it comes down to partnerships and collaboration, as Brett referred to, and we are always open to partnering with you to make our communities the best they can be and to ensure our student success. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it after 10 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vietti. I like that phrase, focus on high demand, high wage jobs. Is that what you said? Yeah, I think that will pay dividends to the community. So thank you for that. And thank you also for stepping into that role again. And I wish Butler community great success in finding the replacement for Dr. Crum. All right. Our next speaker is Will Johnson. Will Johnson is the Butler County Administrator. Will is a lifelong Butler County resident and has been the Butler County Administrator for over 20 years. And so at this time, Mr. Will Johnson.
Well, thank you for the invitation, and I'd like to tag on to what our other three leaders here said. We're fortunate in Butler County to have great partnerships. It's not always been the case my 22 years here. I remember my first year back in 2002 and trying to build a relationship with the city of Andover and the struggles there, and they weren't like they are today. We're fortunate to have great partnerships with the city, with the school district, and with the college. I'm a prodigy of the college as well, and so are my children. Neither myself or my children graduate from the college, but it provides a great pathway to the next step in our educational process, and we're fortunate to have it here as a driver to our economy. Likewise, the school district here in Andover, what more can you say? It's one of the leaders, not just in our state, but nationally. They do a great job, even though my kids go to Circle. And they might I'm proud of them as well. And if my kids didn't go to Circle and I didn't go to Circle growing up, I guarantee you they'd be going to Andover. And likewise, the city, great leadership. And Brett said it right. And Mayor Price has a love for this city that is unmatched and a passion to see it be the best it can be, and it's passed on to the staff with Jenny, the police department, public works, everybody else. They're a great organization and a pleasure to partner with. I'm going to touch a little bit about the economy going on in our county and how fortunate we are in Butler County. We're one of the few counties in Kansas to continue to see sustained growth and to continue to see economic growth in our county. And that's evidenced by our increases in assessed valuation. It's not by reappraisal. I know everybody wants to hammer on our county appraiser about reappraisal and taxes, but we see a ton of new growth in our county. And our assessed valuation, just in the last 3 years when we look at it, in 2023, the assessed valuation of the county was around $925 million. Last year, in 23, it was, the 23 number was 924. In 24, it was 1.04 billion, and this year, almost $1.1 billion at the county. That includes a lot of growth in state assessed, but really the driver for our growth is the Andover area and the Andover population. You see great things going on here. What that's afforded us to do at the county level is to continue to address the concerns of our citizens with property taxes and to lower our mill levy. Butler County is probably the only entity in Kansas, and I go out and say this, that for 14 years our mill levy has been flat or reduced. Nobody else, no other public entity in the state of Kansas can say that. We went from a high mill levy of 36.522 mills in 2009 to 29.8 mills this year. It's been a focus of the commission. We hear the concerns of the taxpayers, and you say, what's that mean? that doesn't mean anything to me. Well, in your pocketbook, it means if you had a $100,000 house, it'd be about $600 a year. Well, nobody in Andover has a $100,000 house. So let's quit, let's look at a $300,000 house. That's $1,800 a year in tax savings. If the county just stayed and rode the wave to prosperity and kept the mill levy where it was at. So the commission over the last 10, 15 years has done a good job of trying to address that. And Butler County focuses on core services. We don't really have a big push because we have such great partners in our city to provide all the other services, and we try to drive that growth to our cities. When we look at some of the assessed valuation, residential values, we've heard a lot of complaints over that in the last few years. And our appraiser takes a beating, but she's tasked with following a constitutional law that all properties will be assessed at market value. And when the market goes crazy like it did in 2023, and we've seen rates that went up on average about 15%, that ticks everybody off. We understand that, we hear that, but that's not the fault of the county appraiser what your tax values are. That's the responsibility of each one of us and the local taxing entities to control those taxes. And the system we have for appraisal is very fair, but it's going to come under significant attack this year in the legislature, right, wrong, or different. I think the focus is to try to do an appraisal cap, which will create a ton of inequity in our state. When you have neighbors next to neighbors, that tax bills on similar houses are totally different based on the point in time they buy them. I think it will stymie sales of older homes. People will not want to sell and move into a different home, or they'll have their tax values reset. Likewise, we want to focus on seniors and the cost of seniors. Well, if I'm a senior and I'm 70 years old, I'm in that big old house that I've had forever and a day that my children grew up in, that's getting too big for me to maintain, and the insurance will just kill me. I want to downsize. I may downsize to a house that is a third of the current market value of my property, but my taxes may increase by threefold. And so it prohibits me, it makes it difficult for me to downsize as a citizen. So what we've tried to preach to the legislators is focus on what needs to be controlled, focus on the problem is property taxes. If that's a property tax cap for local entities, great. If the issue is trying to help seniors out who can't afford increasing property taxes, great. Let's increase the Homestead Exemption Act. Let's increase the minimum value minimum income values there that people can apply for those. Let's focus on property taxes and keep things equitable where we're at. We got a good system. Let's not go back to where we were at in the 80s and create the mess we were in the 80s. So that's the story we talk about in the county. I'll hit on some highlights from the county, some things going on. One of the big issues we're facing too is fentanyl problems in our county. And as I look around the room, I see a lot of people that are professionals, have good incomes, and you just don't see some of the things, and I don't see it either. Some of the stuff that goes on in our county, some of the rural areas, some of the lower income areas of our communities. Not a big issue as Andover, but it's a huge issue in our county with fentanyl and our state and our nation controlling that. And we put a lot of effort into that, and the county attorney's office utilized some of their diversion funds this year to purchase equipment for local law enforcement that would help with mobile drug detection devices to help them with fentanyl enforcement. We've also put out a lot of flock cameras. You may have seen those out and about in the county to help with law enforcement, and we've found that we've recovered a significant amount of stolen vehicles, stolen property through that effort. And that's with our cities as well. I believe Andover has flock cameras as well, and several of our communities now work together great. Looking to the future, We have some major projects. I talked about them last year, we never got them kicked off. I'm hoping we see those in 2025. Jackie may not want to see this project. She may want to get out of there before it happens, but that's the expansion of Haverhill Road right in front of the college down by the refinery. And she remembers it when she was the president when we talked about this project. We talked about it, and we got to the point where we need to get it out the door. The county's getting ready to do a comprehensive plan update. We haven't done that since I've been there. We've kind of fiddled around with it, and the commission's pushed back on staff on it, but we finally got to the point where we have to do it. So we'll be looking to get community input on that over the next year. I think the focus will still be pushing growth towards our cities and protecting ag land in our county. I think we've got a very strong comprehensive plan today, but I think it's important that you update that over time, and we'll be excited to get that project going and completed this year, and see what direction our citizens want to go in the future. So with that, I'm going to hush up and turn it back over to whatever questions you may have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. And listening to these leaders, one thing is clear, is that in our state of Kansas, Andover is definitely a bright spot, and I think we should all be proud of that. We have one more speaker here, and this is our director of the Andover Chamber here. And Lori came to the Chamber in June of 2022 with a background in nonprofit operations, business and fundraising. And now she serves as the director of the Andover Chamber, and at this time, Lori Cullen.
June of 2022, so we're almost on 3 years, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been 3 amazing years. I think as a business community, you guys have done more than I could see possible. The people at this table have done more than I would have thought possible. I remember hosting the first one of these and wondering, did I belong sitting at the table with all of these great people? But what they've shown me is how great Andover is, and how if we really do all come together, we will all accomplish so much more than we could ever accomplish on our own. What our businesses have shown me in 2024 is whether you're in the same industry or a different one, you realize if we all come together, we can accomplish so much more than we were on our own. We're no longer competing with each other, we're all in the same room, and we're all looking out for what's best for Andover. I've seen a lot of tremendous growth. Our chamber added 40 new members this year. And that's because of the businesses that are involved. That's because when new people come in, they come to me and they tell me, I don't feel like an outsider. I felt like I belonged here even at my first event. And that speaks volumes when we have businesses that have been around 20, 30 years. People have known each other for that long, but they make sure that people who come in new feel involved too. We added staff at the chamber. There is a 2024 year in review in your packet that is on your table. Adding staff multiplied our reach in our community more than I could ever have imagined. It is the point to be able to take to the board and say, yes, these are social media numbers, but we're reaching our businesses, we're reaching our community, we're doing what we set out to do. Being a staff of 1 for a year and a half, maybe more, it was a lot. But sometimes you struggle to justify that. And to have the numbers to back that up, and to have the great team that supports the efforts that we have out there, supports our businesses, has been amazing. We got a new office. And if you haven't stopped by, we will do a grand opening. I mean, you know how the chamber is, I think. We fly by the seat of our pants. We moved in, we took off running, and we haven't even fully set it up yet. This was our strategic goal for 2025. Due to great partnerships and opportunities, we made it come to fruition a year early. But what does that mean for you as chamber members? That means we're able to serve you better. That means we're able to offer more things to you. And that's what we're most looking forward to in 2025, is how can we use this office space to benefit our members, to increase the programs we offer. We don't have all the details yet. It will be coming. Our board retreat was amazing with all the ideas they have, but I'll tell you, we're looking for input from you. As I tell many of you, and I like to say each time, this is your chamber. As members, it belongs to you. I get the privilege every day of directing the operations, but if I don't hear from you what you need, I might be going in the wrong direction, and none of us want that. So please continue to support the chamber, keep the communication lines open, and I look forward to 2025.
All right, man. Adding staff, moving into a new office, kind of moving on up in the world here, Lori. It's pretty good. Well, Laura's determined to get you guys out of here. She says she wants to respect your time at 1. So we did have some prepared questions for the panelists, but I think we're going to just jump to the audience to make sure that we get your questions in as well for your leaders here. So are there any questions from the audience, from anything that you've heard today? Going once, going twice. If not, then I'll just shoot to some of these prepared questions here, and I would ask our leaders, if you don't mind, just to be conscientious here and keep it brief, so that we can at least get maybe one question to each of you prior to 1 o'clock. So again, let's start off with our mayor. Mayor Price, here's a question that came in earlier. What opportunities are there for businesses to partner with the city on public projects?
As far as partnering with, some of the things we have is base grant money. We have a neighborhood revitalization program that will get you a tax breaks for 5 years at 95%. And there's probably more of a question for Jenny because she's smarter than I am. But there's a lot. There's also things we do for businesses that maybe want to do landscaping or new signage and things like that. So there's things out there, and you can find them at AndoverKS.com. If I can find it on there, anybody can. But there are opportunities to us to partner together for things like that.
Thank you, Mayor Price. Here's a question for Superintendent White. How can business partner with the district to provide internships or apprenticeships or other work-based learning opportunities?
Thanks, Bradley. I mentioned Andover CAPS, Center for Advanced Professional Studies. So juniors and seniors are able to enroll. They can enroll multiple semesters in that program. It's applied learning, chance for real life experiences and partnerships with business. It's 3 periods of their school day. So they'll go there morning or afternoon, but just really preparing them to have those skills and careers of interest to all of our students. We wanted that to be really a mutually beneficial relationship where our students learn and they grow, and it's also valuable for our business partners. So currently there's about 250 business partners with CAPS, another 100 or so who have partnered at some point in the past, but not in the last couple of years. So lots of opportunities there for business partners. Also, our high school is always looking for you to come in and just share about your career. And, many students were fortunate where they have access to kind of the opportunities that are out there. For some, hearing from you about your career can really expand their vision, and kind of the light bulb comes on and they're able to have a bigger vision of their future. So we'd love to have you in. Also, if any of you are hiring part-time students, we'd love to help advertise that so we can get that out in school newsletters and that type of thing. But if you're looking for high school help, we've got high school kids who'd be great for that. So.
Thank you. Really brief anecdote just to kind of make a real life point about businesses partnering with the district. But we got a call from the CAPS building, the Credit Union of America, and they said, hey, we have a student that's interested in HR. is thinking about HR career, would you mind if our student come and sit with you guys? And that student didn't get just one, but they got 3 of our HR professionals to sit down with this high school student and just talk HR. She had a lot of questions, but things like that, we were proud to be a part of that. And that's, little things like that matter, because she went back and did a presentation about her aspirations to be in the HR profession. All right, Dr. Vietti, how can the Chamber and its members better support the college's mission and goals?
And I only have 2 minutes, right? So I will use the A word, advocacy. We need your voices to help people understand the value we add. The value we add to students as we prepare them to be career ready or transfer on to the university system, the value we add to the communities. And my beloved esteemed colleague over here mentioned a bad word, 2 bad words, property taxes, and we understand that. But we can view higher education as a cost or an investment in human capital. And so the way you can best help us is really twofold. Help people understand the value of investing in human capital on the one hand, and when you have an inkling of an idea for a partnership that Butler could contribute to, call me or one of these brilliant Butler people in the audience. And I have to put in one last plug. Do I have 30 seconds? Okay, so Mr. Internship, otherwise known as Dr. Peter Linden, wave your hand. The college has received state funding for an apprenticeship initiative, and we have made the conscious decision to focus our efforts on the county of Butler to begin with. So look up Peter Linden. He is the guru, source of all knowledge on college apprenticeships.
Excellent. Lori, someone wants to know, what are the Chamber's top priorities for this coming year?
That's a big one, because I have big dreams and I have a board that has to rein me in sometimes. I would say our overarching priority for the coming year is to create a more vibrant and resilient business ecosystem in Andover. Supporting the growth of our existing businesses through the programs and resources that we do offer, continuing to build relationships with our members and developing the programs that, again, serve their needs and what's going on in the business community, but also at the same time, attracting new businesses to our area. We do have areas that we need services, and so ensuring that we are that hub, we are that place that businesses come when they want to open in Andover to find direction, get connected, and really become part of the community that we have at the Chamber.
Thank you. There's a question here for you, Mr. Johnson, and it says, how is the county working with other cities, school districts, and other government entities to address regional challenges?
I think the most important thing the county can do is be a partner and a facilitator. Mayor talked to me a little bit about water. The county doesn't own water. The county's not in the water business, but the county can be a player that can be there to help facilitate that discussion. Likewise, all of us are leaders here, and we're in our positions because of our leadership capabilities. And good leaders will step up and be those facilitators that help guide those tough discussions. We talk about many things, and I know the college is taking a beating over taxes. Well, you know what? Without the college, Butler County wouldn't be where we're at today. It brings in a ton of additional resources for us to excel as a county and with our cities. So I talk about taxes, but I also want to stress that we need taxes to continue our growth, continue our services. There's a price to pay, and all of us need to be efficient and effective with how we spend those tax dollars. And when we're not, you as the public need to call us out on that and be involved and be an advocate or help be part of the solution. But the county has always been there to partner with, and we can. We're partnering with the city right now on the Kellogg expansion. The county came to the table on that. Our public safety agencies are ones in our county that are talked about across the state of Kansas on how well they work together in partnerships. And I go back to the Andover tornado. And when these public entities come together, there's no egos. They leave them at the door, they go do what needs to be done, and we see great successes as a result. And that's the main thing we've focused on and we talk about at the county is leaving your ego at the door. Go do what needs to be done, be a leader, and if you need to be a facilitator, be a facilitator. If you need to get out of the way, get out of the way. But be there to partner and see the success of our peers. Because if Andover's successful, we're at the county successful. If El Dorado's successful, Andover's successful. Everybody shares a little part about that. And we sometimes lose the focus on that we're a county as a whole. And we should celebrate the successes of our partners. And I know as city managers and as the county administrator, we get together every couple months to talk about those things and talk about where we need to have those partnerships and have those deep discussions. And I know Jenny will come to the table and help David and El Dorado with something if need be, or Josh and Augusta. Likewise, I know working with Brett during COVID, that was very rewarding, and seeing what we could do there. We could have kept the $13 million that was passed down from the state, but we knew our schools and our cities were struggling with COVID and all the unknowns. And it was important that we help them pull through that. So we're always going to be there. We're always going to be a partner. We're always hopefully going to be a leader. And so hopefully that addresses your question.
Yes. Thank you so much. Superintendent, I'm coming right back to you here, sir. Someone wants to know, how is the district preparing students for not just college, but careers and the workforce?
Yeah, we currently have 62 students that are enrolled in one of the Butler academies or WSU Tech. So those are just for getting students that jumpstart and getting them kind of an early start on their career preparation is really huge. Andover Caps mentioned that. Reality U is kind of a really cool event that our 8th graders at both middle schools take part in, where it really simulates career, and you budget and buy car insurance, housing. You have a family, sometimes you end up not liking that family, so it's kind of real life stuff for the 8th graders here. So that's a great way just to prepare them for the future. We're really focused on reading in the district, so at all levels, high focus on reading, and then the student success skills that, again, we know we've got to prepare students academically, but we also need to prepare them to just have a fulfilling and happy and successful life beyond high school.
Thank you so much, and yes, a shout out to Reality U. It's a fantastic program, and if you have not volunteered for Reality U, I would encourage you to do that. That concludes our panel, hearing from the panelists and having the question portion as well. And so we want to say thank you guys for being here. Credit Union of America, once again, is really proud to have sponsored this event today. And to close it out, and I'll hand back to the director of our chamber, Lori Collin.
Thank you, Bradley. And I just want to second what Bradley had to say. Thank you for choosing to spend your lunch with us. Thank you for coming and caring enough to hear about Andover and what's going on with all of these amazing agencies that we get to be involved with all the time. I encourage you, get involved. If there's something you heard today that you want to be a part of, get involved. Get involved with the city, the school district, the college, the county. We all have the opportunity to do that. If there are questions you didn't get answered today, they will be around here for a bit. You can also email them to me and I'll bug them and get you an answer. I have no problem with that. I think we are fortunate with the relationships we build. And that's what I see at this table, relationships that have been built and will continue. So I want to thank Credit Union of America for being our presenting sponsor, Kansas Gas, our signature sponsor, and then all of our table sponsors. Again, you guys make what the Chamber does possible. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you again for being here. We'll see you soon.